Seen him recently?
I haven't. I just assumed you guys would have dealt with him already.
It's a work in progress.
You think he's come back to Bree?
Almost certainly.
I will probably just stay here then.
I mean, he probably would have skipped this particular inn if he had the means to, so.
Yeah, no, I met him. I met him in, well, I met his, I was recruited in Bree. I missed. I seem to always be a step behind actually meeting Gorlink. So.
Who recruited you?
Vin was my recruit.
Who recruited him?
Well, I don't know. He was just looking for folks who could travel, folks who were handy with a sword or an axe, and didn't mind, using those tools.
You're talking like wanted posters, word of mouth, just a multi-level marketing scheme. How does this?
No, sitting around a bar, drinking, right, having stories, and those stories turn into, what would you do for, I don't know, 5 coin, 10 coin? Never have to work a day in your life again? Would you kill for that? Right? Those kinds of stories. And then,
I mean, I hope you said no.
well, it's all fun and games until the gold coins hit the table, right? And then it's different.
Coins are one thing. I like put my hand on his shoulder and make like over the top serious eye contact.
Yeah.
And I'm like, make sure your soul stays pure. I believe in you.
Nice. I think that makes him uncomfortable, right? Yeah. I think he's. I don't think so he's got resolve, right? He doesn't have hate, so he's not a bad evil man. But he's got no compunctions about doing some bad things, right? So to hear that, right, that that means somebody might see something in him he doesn't see, right? He doesn't know what to do with that, so it's that kind of uncomfortable, right? Not a crazy, creepy person, right? No, it's what do you see I don't see, and do you know who I really am, and maybe I'm wrong about me. That type of uncomfortable.
I like it.
And he says, it's good to see you. I got to get this stuff back inside. Oh,
yeah,
I'm trying to keep this going.
The rest of the guys are in there, so if you can give them a beer on the house or something, I'm sure it would make them happy.
I'll talk to Jack. I see what we could do.
Cool.
And he's whatever he was grabbing. He heads back into the inn.
Daphne will finish making the animals comfy, and is likely to just fall asleep in the stables, to be honest, because she's tired.
Nice. I think I don't know. I've never been in an inn in Bree, so I'm thinking there were 2 beds in the room. Maybe they're queen size, right? I don't know. I think Perry is looking them over and is moseying over to one of the beds, sits on it, right? Starts to make himself comfortable. Just looking around, no one saying anything.
To be clear, before when we got here and kind of found out it was one room, Daphne was like all on board for friend snuggling. No issues. So her falling asleep in the stable is not avoiding this.
Right.
But she's not there right now, so I'll just context.
That's funny. I think Ronell is nervous. He doesn't know what to do, right? So he's just going to wait to see how this falls out.
Do we get like does this seem like, it seems like a kind of a shade, but does it seem like a dangerous place?
Oh yeah.
Like should somebody should somebody stay up, kind of a deal. Like we're in this room, does the door have a lock? Are people going to be coming in here trying to get to our things? Like, does it feel like that kind of place, or?
I'll let you make a test for that, but I will say there's some rough folks downstairs. I think your door, it has a lock, right? But the door is so not in the right. I mean, there are cracks in between. I'm not a door person, but you could probably stick fingers between where the actual door and the threshold is, right?
Gotcha.
But there's a lock, right? There's a lock on it. It locks. It works, right?
Yeah.
You know how your cat likes to stick its paw under the door, right? You can probably get a whole hand up under there because it's all not in the frame nicely. I imagine the original door was probably busted down, broken down, and they just do whatever they could in here. But you might be safe. It could be a nice, peaceful night. I think it makes you ask those questions, right? It feels like things could go sideways here. But if you've been downstairs, if you've gotten any food, if you've gotten any drinks or anything like that, it's a cagey crowd, but no one pushes anything. No one's hostile.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I would imagine, like, I'm not so unsocial. Like, I would probably spend some time downstairs, get some food, get some drink,
Nindor is not social or anti-social. Nindor will not take the bed. The two travelers with us are still weak, so he would be loath to leave Daphne out in the stable, though. So after some time, he's probably stripped down to like a shirt and jerkin, and when enough time has gone by that Daphne should have been back, he'll give them a notification and head out to the stable and probably find a sleeping Daphne and search around for a horse blanket or something to put over her, and then he would sit back against the wall where he could keep an eye on her.
Right.
Aw. Big softy.
Nice.
Only the ponies see it.
Yeah, only the ponies and Don, because of course he comes back into the stable, right? He's kind of like the bar back. He's got to get stuff, take stuff out, right? And I think he does. I think he comes back out and sees you both, right? And I'm assuming Nindor's awake, so he can see that.
Yes.
And so I think he nods. Hey, I think good to see you wants to come out, but it's not really good to see you, right? So I think there's that, right? And then he stops himself, and it's just, hey, can I get you anything?
If you need to come back outside and have some water, I would not mind some, but it's not required.
No, I could do that. I could do that.
Thank you.
This Gorlink deal. I heard you're going to Bree for him.
Yes, we're hunting him. We will stop him.
I was hoping to make enough money here so I could go back to Bree. I think I'd have been in trouble if he's in Bree and I had done that already. Are you going to kill him?
I think it's unavoidable.
Are you going back out this way when you're done with your Gorlink business?
It's likely we will travel back to Rivendell. So we will be traveling through here.
I'd appreciate it if you will let me know that Gorlink's not in Bree anymore.
This seems a reasonable request.
I'll get you water. Thank you. Anything else you guys want to do this night?
I guess if I'm sort of in the common room,
Yeah.
my first thought is keeping an eye out for Dara. Maybe they were probably way ahead of us because we spent like a week or so in Rivendell, so
Right.
who knows. But then I might actually strike
Start a bar fight? Oh, strike up a conversation.
Yeah. So I don't know if Jack the Forsaken is also the bartender, but whoever is the bartender, like that's who's gonna know everything. So that's who I'm gonna try to talk to.
Yep. Jack is at the bar. If you give me a scan test,
Ooh,
I will
okay.
tell you if Dara
I'm good at scan.
wants to be seen or not.
Oh, okay.
So I think the audience at home, right, if we're watching
So-
Shadows over Rivendell.
Oh, that's a terrible one. That's a nope.
No, okay. So I think we see Dara in the inn, right? She's maybe in the booth
Yeah.
with some other folks. Maybe they're playing some game or something. And she may not have seen anybody else, but she's seen Farron before Farron could see her.
Yes. So
And
maybe
I
she
think
kind
as,
of.
yeah, I think as Farron's looking around, right, she slides into the booth a little further so she can't be seen, right? And then Farron strikes up a conversation with Jack the Forsaken
Yep.
at the bar. And, right, that's what we see as the audience members. So she is there, but,
Yeah.
right, she's hiding. Nice. Jack looks like your common garden variety bandit kind of guy, but he's a little grayer, right? A little shaggier, right? He's an older guy. So I think he probably made some right decisions about changing the career path he was on and became an innkeeper, even if it's a rundown kind of inn.
Yeah.
So I think he's doing the best he can with what he has.
Yeah.
But he's got bandit roots, right? And you can hear
Sure.
it in him when he's talking to you.
Sure.
Right? But he's also, self-made entrepreneur, right? This is his thing now.
Yeah.
And I think he says right out, man, we don't get a whole lot of dwarves out here. What brings you this far?
Looking for somebody.
Aren't we all, buddy? He
And I'll
puts your beard
probably,
down.
yeah. And over the course of drinking, like I imagine I probably won't ever come out and say his name, but since I know we've seen him, I can give a description. Like we're looking for this man. This is what he looks like. Has he been through here? Can you tell me anything?
So yeah, I think Jack says I get a lot of hunters and a lot of trappers, sometimes some farmers.
Not any of those.
Yeah, if your guy has any kind of money or any kind of sense, he's not staying here, right? These folks are regular working kind of folks, and they're taking their chances, right? Your guy sounds like, he may have foregone this. He may have rode on his horse right on by to Bree.
Sure.
I don't know that he would have stayed here.
Yeah. The player in me wants to ask after the other humans we've seen, but I don't think Farron would really care. I don't see him having a good reason to be like, oh, there's also this woman I'd like to check up on, and then he's like, oh,
Right.
she's over there. That's fine. We just have a misconnection. That's fine. I guess that my question is like, does this seem pretty legit? Like he's not trying to give me a runaround. It's just simple. Like this isn't the kind of place where he would stop. Like that seems pretty reasonable.
Yeah. No, that does.
All right.
Or if he did, right? Marin would have stuck out like you guys stick out. He would
Yeah.
right?
Sure.
And then it's a different story. Well, I don't know. My memory is kind of.
Gotcha. You from Bree originally? You come from this
Not
area?
originally. No, not
Okay.
not originally. And I think he says it like that too. Not originally. Right?
Fair enough. I guess in my head, I guess Marin wasn't either. He's just sort of come this way.
Right.
Yeah, I mean that it feels like he's not going to have any information that I want to need. So
That's fair. Anybody else? Anything else? So the night passes without incident. You don't get mugged. You don't get rolled. None of that stuff, right? I think your nerves are shot, right? It's a long travel this far. You're tired, and that's another thing you're worried about. But none of that happens. So everything passes. You can get an early start. Head into Bree the next day. We can cut to Bree.
yes.
So we can stay at the Prancing Pony.
The world famous
Achievement.
Yes, ding.
Achievement unlocked.
I think this is where Perry and Ronell say their goodbyes once you get into Bree, right? Because now they're home, right? And Perry says, he shows you, the ranch stead that he lives, or he gives you directions to it. If you need anything, right, don't be afraid to stop in and take me up on my hospitality. You folks got me home safe, and I appreciate that. My home is your home. I wish you luck on your task.
Daphne gives him a hug before we part ways.
Nice.
Yeah, Kurt nod.
No! And then they head off, right? They're home, right? So they're off to do whatever they do at home. You folks are set up at the Prancing Pony. We've got like 10 minutes. Any idea what you want to do now that you're in Bree? Where do you start? Do we go right out looking for? Do we ask around? How do we go about? Or what are our next steps?
So I think Daphne might, and she would share with the others as well, like suggest that we just try to make ourselves like open to do work, need some coins, help us out, and then let the offers come in, because that's how Dawn kind of was recruited with the funding. So hoping we'll bring some recruiter to us.
Nice. That is fantastic.
I feel like that'll work for Daphne.
Hashtag human.
Yeah. But that raises another good point of like maybe, as we're on the road and kind of talking about strategies, like this idea could have come up so we could try to engineer it in such a way that we're not really seen traveling together once we get this close to Bree, so that we can, because that seems like a great plan to me.
Yeah.
I don't know how.
Keep the rumors from spreading about this weird troop that came in all together. So it seems
Yeah.
natural.
Well, and depending, like, I don't know what the other side of it is, like, Farron and Indoor could stick together and we make such an odd couple that, like, nobody's paying attention to Daphne.
Right.
Or we could all three kind of be trying different strategies. I'm not sure. But I like that idea a lot. Yeah, trying to, like, lure the offers in. That seems awesome.
That is fantastic.
because my only idea was to just, I mean, literally ask around, or B, just, scout out the town and stake it out somewhere and hope to just see him or something. I don't know.
Which I feel like you could still post up somewhere where there's crowds and just keep an eye on who's coming and going.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
Rich, do you have anything? Or are you good?
That's a great idea. Let's pursue that.
Excellent. So I think that's where we'll end, off of the road to Bree and in Bree.
Nice.
We will execute this plan next week. I'm excited. Let's do some outros and call it a night.
Perfect.
Let's start with you, Heidi. What's going on? Where can we find you on the social internets?
Okay, I have a new where you can find me on the social internet this week, because this past weekend we went to the Minnesota Renaissance Festival again, but we went in our characters called Lord and Lady Jester, which have an Instagram, so you can follow at Lord and Lady Jester on Instagram. So we had a wonderful time in our giant elaborate costumes, and we took pictures with lots of people. And toward the end of the day, one of the workers came running out of his booth to us. And by the way, we don't talk all day once we're in character, we're just miming, which is an interesting experience when you're there for, I don't know, 9 hours or something. But one of the workers came running out of his booth to us, and he said, "I've worked here for 50 years, and these are the most amazing costumes I've ever seen." So that was really awesome. And I was very pleased to hear that from him. So yes, at Lord and Lady Jester on the Instagrams.
That's fantastic. Jeremiah, what do you got going on?
Nothing nearly that exciting. As usual, this is my one weekly game at the moment. I don't really have any other prospects, but that's fine because I'm loving this.
Nice. We talked about it off camera, off stream. I'm thinking about Blades in the Dark, so we might talk.
I mean,
because
I like Blades.
We're free Tuesdays, so yeah.
Yeah, I'm generally free today.
Yeah. Rich, what's up? What's going on? What's happening?
Well, both of the games that I posted up for the Gauntlet Community Open Gaming Weekend have filled up, but there is always space on the wait list. You never know if people might drop out of those games. It's Hut Cartel, which
Yes.
Matt J and I have played a few times. It's good.
I almost signed up for it. I almost did.
You
but I was like, I've played it before. Like I wanted to, I played it before. I was like, I'm gonna maybe somebody.
Oh, that's right. Do you play on a Kansas City game day?
Yeah, when Jay ran it once.
Yeah, I remember when Jay was running it. That's awesome. And Swoop Gangs, which is a hack of the 1%er outlaw biker game. But we are also doing a really cool panel on Thursday, the 14th. I've got a couple of folks who have hacked up some Star Wars Saturdays games. It's a whole panel on how to Star Warsify different RPGs. We're just going to workshop, talk about things that we've done, what works for us, what hasn't worked as well, fun stuff like that. It's going to be an exciting time, and it's open to anybody. We're going to take questions for the last third of the panel after we show some slides or something.
That's fantastic. That is I like that. I'm jealous that you've got that thing going on with Star Wars across all the different games. I think that's fantastic. And then the stuff you do to make other games go, right? That is some fantastic stuff. So I am also running games for Gauntlet Con Open Gaming. Twilight 2000 and Forbidden Lands are the two things I'll run. I'm thinking of a third, but I don't know if I'll get that far yet. So, but
where you gonna post them up?
Tomorrow. tomorrow.
All right.
Yes. Well, so my hardest part is writing up the blurb that goes out there, right?
I hear you, man.
And then once that's done, right, then yeah, I will post those up tomorrow. But I'm excited. I got a good crowd. I just might run Twilight 2000 twice because last time I ran it, I had a waiting list where I could have ran 2 games because I think it was 4 and then 4 people on the waiting list. And then I felt bad. I should have ran it twice because it would have been fine. So, but I'm excited about that. I'll do that. But that's about it for me, is prepping those games, getting that ready. And then this game, this is my weekly game, my only weekly game. So I appreciate you guys for showing up and doing this because I'm happy with the alpha rules. I can't wait to see the finished stuff because they hint at some things that I can't wait to see what that looks like. So
Yeah, I'm really surprised they haven't released an updated PDF because they've started printing. So
oh wow, did they? I didn't know they started printing.
Pretty sure they've started printing, I think.
Wow, okay. Yeah, because in the journey rules, they talk about perilous encounters. So on this map that we haven't seen, we're using the first edition maps. Apparently, there are some sections of the map with no hexes, right?
Oh.
And yeah, so they're like big sites. And once you enter those, a whole nother set of rules take place.
Oh,
right?
interesting.
Right. I think you don't come out until I think they have a rating, and you have to have whatever that rating in encounters before you can get out the other side. Right. So maybe the Weather Hills, you have to have 3 encounters and then you're out. Right. And I'm like, wow, that's crazy. You could die in there.
Yeah.
So,
I can only imagine what going through like Mirkwood would be like or something.
woo! So yeah. So I'm excited to see stuff like that. I
That's
don't
interesting.
know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll have to go out there and look and see if they've got any updates or anything like that. So cool enough. I'm Matt J, your host. You can find me on Twitter at MadJ0. That's a wrap for tonight. I'll see everybody in a week.
Thank you.
I gotta find my magic button here. Here we go.